The Buccaneers are forced into an impossible situation as roster cuts, depth chart changes, preseason coming around the corner, training camp is in full swing. We have a young, bright star on the Buccaneers that is looking to make his mark, and there has to be some decisions made about his future and the Buccaneers roster as a whole. I'm Sebastian with Buccaneers Digest. Welcome, everybody, as we'll be talking about all things Buccaneers. Make sure to subscribe, as right now we know 95% of y'all still not subscribed. Hit the bell, hit the button. You know what to do, and you'll be joining us on the Buccaneers season and everything that's going on. All right, just make sure to join us. We're almost to 1,000. Just help us get us there. But yeah, what are we talking about today? Because we've got some interesting tidbits and news about a good old safety young safety who's playing for the Buccaneers and playing for a roster spot right now. A lot of exciting updates about that. Regarding Shilo Sanders, Todd Bowles had to say he's coming along. He's getting the scheme down. He's made plays like everybody else back there. He's got a good chance of making it. Talk about excitement, because the Sanders name, boy, does that carry some weight. And Todd is very transparent. He's very honest in his press briefings. And to hear that, Sanders is making plays and he's competitive just like everybody else is really encouraging. Everyone knows he was an undrafted free agent. And so people weren't really sure, is this guy actually going to be an NFL player? Is he NFL talent? Because Colorado, when he played for Colorado in college, he wasn't really exactly making splash plays. He wasn't making a ton of plays just in bulk. So people were like, okay, Shedeur, he is kind of like the main brother, and Shiloh sometimes got thought of as an afterthought, unfortunately. But now it seems like after Shedeur's fall in the draft, and Shiloh, who has had a great personality and has been very humble and has just been happy just to have a chance in the NFL, that there's been kind of a shift in people's perspectives of like, okay, I think I want to root for Shiloh on the Buccaneers, and to have a defensive-minded head coach like Todd Bowles to kind of like teach Shiloh is really encouraging. There's a lot of possibilities that Todd Bowles can bring out of Shedeur that maybe Deion couldn't. Maybe Deion Sanders, who's obviously his father, the coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, you could argue was a bit too close to the situation. Maybe he'll say that he'll coach his guys, his kids, like anyone else. But we all know that there's still kind of the personal aspect to it that makes maybe treating him like just anyone else a little more difficult. Now that he's in an NFL system, Todd Bowles doesn't have any affiliations with the Sanders family. Sanders has the opportunity now to be coached a little bit more normally in a more normal situation. And to hear that Todd is saying, okay, he's been making plays, he understands the scheme, and there's like a legit shot. I mean, people like to say, okay, well, what else is he supposed to say? I say that he doesn't have to say that at all. He doesn't have to say he has a shot. He can just stay quiet, and it wouldn't make any headlines. Like, if you don't have anything good to say, just don't say it. And he has good things to say, which is awesome. I mean, I think everyone is really encouraged by, Sanders really competing with these other guys on the squad to make a safety position on the team. Safety is somewhere where it's like where we could really use the depth and talent, and we know, Shiloh has talent. It's just about, can he make the plays? Can he, does he have the play recognition? Will he be able to have the instincts that are necessary for, professional football, not just college football? So those are all very valid questions. And then Deion, he is coming to like watch Shiloh at practice for the Buccaneers. Todd Bowles had to say that, he came to visit his son. He didn't come to visit me. Like, there's no influence going on there. He's not trying to like nudge my shoulder or like bribe or anything like that. Like that, there's all these like kind of indications that like when someone as influential as Deion Sanders is coming to training camp, that he's trying to like rub shoulders and like trying to like be like, oh, hey, like you should like really, I'll make your life really good in the press or whatever, if you help my son make the team. Todd was, trying to be, like he always is, very transparent, saying, I guarantee you he didn't come to see me. Not that I don't like him, but he's a father going to visit his son. Who wouldn't be proud to have their son trying out in the NFL? Now, people are like, okay, but like, what about Shador? He didn't visit Shador at training camp for the Browns, and that's because Shador told his father, Deion, he didn't want like the distraction. He didn't want Deion to show up just because. So it's just a personality thing. Shador requested it. Shiloh didn't mind it. He likes the support, and so that's all that was when Deion was coming in. And Todd has, as the statement of Deion coming is helping Bucs fans be like, okay, I'm glad that he acknowledged it. If you don't acknowledge it, then it's always gonna be kind of in the back of your head of like, okay, like how much of this is legit? It's totally legit. And as someone who was actually at Buccaneers training camp myself the other day, he's out there just like everyone else. There's no special treatment. He's trying to go through drills and make plays, and he's getting reps, and he's putting in the effort. So there's nothing that's like, oh, he's getting more reps than other people, or he's getting any treatment that would be different. That's not the case at all. He is just another player trying to make the squad, make the team, and there's a lot of opportunities with that coming up because we're getting very close to the start of the preseason for the Bucs. Todd Bowles had to say there are a few tests that come up during the preseason. Tuesday night was one of them. There was a night practice on Tuesday. That's what he's talking about. And the other 3 preseason games and practices will be the others. So he's saying that there are tests, and Shiloh has he did well on Tuesday night, but now it's about we're going to put you in game situations and see how you perform there. I'm pretty sure game 1 of the preseason, none of the starters are going to be playing, so they're going to have a lot. Shiloh's going to get a lot of time during that game and have a chance to really prove what he can do and just make some plays, and just be out there and really minimizing mistakes. You don't want to allow too many big plays because the safety has a big role in the backfield, and so that's going to be really huge. I mean, we have 2 rookie corners as well with Benjamin Morrison and Parrish, so those guys will be doing the corner positions, and then Shiloh will be rotating in and out of the safety position. So that'll be really interesting to watch as the Titans preseason game comes up this week, and I'm sure Shiloh will get his reps in, but just like anyone else, no special treatment, and that's really important. Now, talking about who is Shiloh going to be going up against, because that's it's a good question. What's his competition like? Shiloh is right now listed as the 4th string safety, free safety that is, and the folks in front of him, JJ Roberts, he was another undrafted free agent. There's been a lot of praise about JJ, so that's kind of going to be his main competition, because Christian Izzy and Tyke Smith, these guys are borderline locks to make the team. I'd be surprised if they didn't. They have been on the Buccaneers for previous seasons, so that's kind of what is really the interest here. Is it going to be Shiloh? Is it going to be JJ? Antoine Winfield, obviously, that's a lock for to make the roster. But Merriweather and Rashad Wisdom, those are also guys that's okay, if Shiloh were to switch over to strong safety, would he be able to compete with those guys to make a spot on the strong safety side rather than the free safety? There's some different responsibilities regarding how deep you play in the backfield, but overall, it's going to be up to the coaches where they think Shiloh fits the best in those 2 positions. Right now, this is where he's currently listed as a free safety. We'll see if that's where he ends up, and if he makes a team, which position he ends up playing. It's going to be one of the safety positions for sure. So that'll just be really interesting to see going forward. But overall, as someone who's just, like I said, been to training camp, Shiloh has been a model citizen. He's been really just bringing a lot of joy. You can tell he's enjoying just being out there on the football field, being given a chance to make a football team, a professional football team that is. And it's cool to see Deion at camp and supporting his kid. And it's just nice to have a name like Sanders. It's a legacy name, and because Manning, Archie Manning, who's currently the quarterback playing at University of Texas. Everyone's excited about when he's going to get to the league because the Manning name holds a lot of weight. And there's other guys like that. Winfield, he is a legacy name. His father played in the professional in the NFL. So it's exciting to just see the legacy being passed down here, and for Tampa to be taking part in such a big legacy name in the Sanders name. And Shiloh has, just like we said, been really, really kind to the fans, and to just like all the coaches are raving about just his consistency and just how he holds himself, and he doesn't have an ego because of the name. He is just there to compete and just to be the best football player that he can possibly be, which is really exciting for the rest of us because we don't have to worry about like any egos clashing in the locker room or anything like that. Like the Buccaneers, once again, are a model organization. We care about the person over the football player, and then we care about the football player. It's really just a really cool thing to see for this organization. And I can speak honestly for how Shiloh is because, like I said, training camp. Here's a picture of me the other day where I saw Shiloh signing all kinds of signatures for the fans. And he was just very generous with his time. He stayed well after practice to do all those signatures. And he knows he hasn't played a snap in the NFL just yet, but he wants to be there for the fans and contribute and just be nice. And I think that's really cool. I'm really impressed by his ability to kind of give back a bit to the football community. So overall, though, the question is, what do you think Todd Bowles is going to do with Shiloh? Do you think that he's going to be playing him a lot in the preseason? Do you think it's only going to be like situational stuff? And do you see Shiloh Sanders making the roster? Sound down in the comments below. Let me know what you think regarding Shiloh, because I mean it's a big question that it would make headlines for sure of Shiloh making the team, because there's a lot of people who think that's just not going to happen, that he's not that caliber of player to make the team. But if you ask me, I think he is. I think he has it because humbleness and the drive to win, the drive to compete does a lot for the spirit and does a lot for just bettering yourself and your technique and your talent. So I see it in Shiloh, and I just want to know from the rest of you guys, what do you see in Shiloh? Do you see him making the team? And do you think it'd be a good thing if he made the team? Would that be an indictment, or would it be a positive on the safety room or in the secondary room in general for the Buccaneers? So make sure to stay tuned to All Things Buccaneers. We'll stay with this story, and I will keep updating you as things come along. Preseason's coming up, Titans, joint practices, all that good stuff. And just subscribe to make sure that you're getting all that stuff here. But I will see you all in the next one.